Okay, so we're going to move to the final, I'd love to do 2 of these with you. I don't think we'll have time today, but it's going to look something like this, and I recommend doing it on this separate piece of paper I cut, or we have cut for you. I think it's a little easier to do it that way than in your sketchbook, and then we can just put this in your sketchbook when you turn it in. So for this, you'll definitely want to start with your pencil, and let's use the inside of this tape to make a nice circle, and we're just going to use our pencil and trace that circle in there. Now, instead of starting with the background checker, we're going to start with the checkerboard inside of our circle. And what we want to do is just put a straight line kind of in the halfway. So we're going to divide it in half this way and divide it in half this way. But it really helps to use your triangle on this, your straight edge, because the straighter the lines are, the better it will look. That's not quite halfway, but it works. You don't have to worry about perfectionism. And why we're going to start in there is, I could have had you just draw this line all the way through, actually. It's probably what I should have done, is you're just going to continue that halfway line all the way this way, and then you're going to continue it. Now I can see where I was off, so maybe I'll go ahead and correct that. So that's probably the easier way to start, is to just do it going all the way across like that. Okay, now we're going to stop doing our lines on the inside of the circle. We're just going to make a checkerboard on the outside now. And definitely use a straight edge for this. It makes it a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and just move to my marker so you can see it better. I should do everything in marker so you can see it better. This will give you some time to catch up. So you put your circle in the middle, and then I'm going to divide that halfway that way, and I'm going to bring that up and divide it halfway going that way. Yeah, it's not a very dark line. Okay, now I'm going to start doing the background, and I'm going to not draw anything inside the circle, just the background. So I'm going to start making my grid, straighten it up with that line, and you don't want to make them too thick because you want enough checkers going inside that circle. So make it super thick areas. Okay, and I'm just making it probably look a little bit better if we had a bigger circle. My lines are going a little angled. You know why? Because I'm not using my triangle the right way, so my lines are kind of going a little bit off. That's because I should have my triangle flush up against an edge, and if I had done that, my lines would all be straight. But I wasn't following that rule, but they're not terrible. It'll work. And then coming over here, I just want to eyeball and try to keep that close to that same width between my lines, but I'm not doing them inside the circle. Down like that. Remember, if you keep this lined up with a straight edge, all your lines will be straight, which I am having a little bit of difficulty this time following that rule. I think it's because I'm recording this on my lunch break. I'm trying to get it done for you guys fast. So this is what the second step should look like. And then because I have a loose paper, I'm going to turn mine this way and do it. My triangle is not quite long enough, so I could switch to a longer triangle, or I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm already a little off. Oh wait, stop. I'm going to start from the halfway mark. Start from the halfway mark. And then start moving back. So I'm not going to bring it inside my circle. And like I said, my lines are all a little off. It's not a big deal. And then over here, man, I'm all kinds of crooked. That's okay, that'll work. So then, when I'm here on the inside of the circle, we're going to make our lines, our checker lines on the inside of the circle, but we're going to curve them, right? So it's that same thing. This and this is the line that meets right here and right here, but instead of making that line straight, I'm going to curve it the same direction as the outside of my circle there. I'm going to curve it, curve it, curve it, and oops, it should, I'm going to curve it to meet that line there, even though I'm a little off. And here, I'm going to curve this to meet with that line there. Jeez, I'm a little off on this one. Here, I'm going to curve this and meet with that line there. And I'm going to take this one and curve it to meet with that line there. So I'm definitely a little wonky on this one, but I'm not going to start re-recording. And I'm still going to show you. No point in starting over because nothing is perfect. So here I just put that to show you this line matches up with this line, but I'm going to curve it. Well, I always match the outside. This is how it was, right? I'm going to come up here and I'm going to curve it. Which way do I curve it? To run parallel with the outer edge of that circle. So curve it like this, back down, and I'm going to take that one, curve it around, and back down. And then here, curve it around, back up, curve it around, and back up. And there's my very messy grid. Looks pretty messy, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to start here, and I'm going to start, I always start by coloring in that top row, and I'm going to start in my circle. So I'm going to ink that one, leave that one blank, ink this one, and leave that one blank. I'm going to go down to the inside of the circle, the second line. I'm going to ink. Okay, so because it's curved, this is going to be a little different. I'm going to want to ink this one too. And why is because I lost that other little square. This will be the square that belongs to this one. I know that's confusing, but just stay with me here. So because my corners are cutting off and this is a circle, I'm going to look at the vertical arrangement. And so since this one's inked, this one would be blank, right? And this one would be inked. Because it's the same no matter what. If it's horizontal or vertical, it has the opposite in it. So why I switched going up and down is because the spaces here were getting cut off because of the circle not having a corner. So I can just continue this way if I want, if it's easier. So inked, blank, inked, blank, inked, blank. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and keep going on the inside. Even though I have this edge to do, I'm going to keep doing it on the inside for my brain. And so I started with that one inked, and I'm matching it. That one can be blank, inked, that works. So this one would be inked, right? Then this would be blank. This big one would be inked. this one would be blanked, and then this one would be inked. Okay. Inked, blank, inked, right, blank, inked, blank. And I'm just for right now staying inside the circle. I can change that in just a second. And whether you're going horizontal or vertical doesn't matter, but this one is inked, so that one would be blank. So this would be an inked one, blank, inked, blank, inked. And we'll go to this little smidgen right here, inked, blank, inked. So no matter what, it's opposite on its side. You know, so if you have a blank one, it should have inked on all four sides. If you have an inked one, it should have a blank one on all four sides. So let's come over here with the side that I kind of skipped out on. I'll ink that one, blank, inked. Okay, so our inner circle is done. Now we have to connect that to the outer circle, and it should also go opposite. Now sometimes I get a little off on this, so let's do, this one's blank right here, so this one will be inked, blank, inked. And I think I'm just gonna, I don't think I'm gonna ink all my grid. Maybe I'll come back and do it after the video, but I want to keep us going. So, and this one is inked, so this would be blank, and this one would be inked. Now sometimes this will get a little off, and you'll just have to make up for it. It'll be okay. Here I start to turn my edge, and here's one where I think it's going to get off a little bit, because this is the inked one, right? That's definitely the inked one. But here, it kind of skews around where this one's blank and this one's inked. So I can choose to make this just leave it like that. Doesn't look terrible. Or I could come in here and just ink, make that an extra long inked one. It's nice when you have the background has the opposite up against it, but that doesn't always happen because it's a circle and we don't have straight corners. So like this one, man, that's a tough one because this one's dark. That should be light, but it also should be dark to go with the outside. So I'm just going to make it dark. I kind of lose a little bit there, but that's okay. And I'm just going to keep coming down. This will be inked. And for some of you, you're probably going through and marking that. Oh, I just totally screwed up on that part. I don't know why. Why am I screwing up on this one? Because I'm recording it. That's why. Okay, so this one would be blank. Man, I don't know how I got so off on that one. I've done this 100 times. Let's start here. Let's make this one blank, dark up against that one. Blank, dark, blank, dark. And this would be dark, blank, dark, blank, dark. Gosh, I just can't line them up. Dark, blank, dark. They are not lining up at all. And this would be blank, dark, dark, blank. This would be inked, blank, inked, blank, ink, blank, ink, blank, ink, blank. It'll look okay. It won't look as awesome, but it'll still look pretty cool. And this is the one where it really threw me because I added that extra thing there. I'm just losing a square, so here I'm going to have a double. I don't know why I'm so off on that. That should be dark, dark. This one should have been dark. This one should have been light. See, I jumped here and added an extra pattern. Added an extra square, which I probably shouldn't have done, but it's just going to look a little bit jacked up right there. And I can go back in. And if this was like some big final design, I'd probably go in and put another little white square there or something to cover it up. Of course, it's the thing I'm recording that I mess up on, but so is life. That is how life goes sometimes. And I am just off on all of them once I get up here, which is kind of disappointing. I don't know how I messed that up there. But we're just going to ignore it at this point and keep going. So that would be blank. That one would be inked. So this is going to be double inked, which I'm sorry about that. Maybe I'll make another one. Maybe I won't. This would be inked. So that little guy would have been white. So it's just off here. It's because I didn't follow the straight lines and I jumped around my circle and it just kind of jacked me up. So the cool thing is even when you're a professional drawer, you still mess up, and hold that to your heart that, you know, even when you're always learning stuff, it's harder in the beginning, but even when you think you know what you're doing, you're still going to make mistakes sometimes. That's just life, man. Just life. Okay, so once you get this inked in, then I can use my pencil for the shadow. And like I said, it's not going to look quite as realistic because I got off on those, but it still looks pretty cool. Now to do a pencil shadow, I always go over it in 2 layers. The first layer, I do my little circle pencil. And we're putting some shadow around the edge. You can put it, really it'd be, unless it's hovering above the paper, it'll only be on one edge. What I mean, like if it was floating up here, you'd have a circle on all edges, but otherwise the shadow is really just on one side, so you pick a side. And I take my finger and I kind of smear that. And I know it's not making a big mark, but there's still something there that looks good. And then I'm going to come in and push a little bit harder right where it touches up against that circle, because a shadow, it's dark, but it gets darker right up on its object. So if you can do 2 little layers where it's darker closer to your object and then it fades out, it's going to make it look much more real, like a shadow. And even though I used a black marker coloring this in and I can't see a lot of where the shadow is, where I can see it, it really makes it look like it's popping out from that page. Maybe over here I don't have as thick of a shadow, but I could still put just a little pencil there if I wanted to help with that illusion. If you want to make it look like it's floating on top, you could put a shadow in. Make that shadow go out a little bit. Our finger is a great smudger. So it's up to you if you want to put your shadow on one side or to bring it down and put it on both sides. I think both look cool, but I would probably make one side a little bit bigger than the other side. And I could spend time filling this in. I might just make another one. But, you know, even the places where I've messed up, here, 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 the illusion still looks really cool. Okay. So that is the end of our first final drawing. And this, the last one, is really a lot quicker. And let's see, 20 minutes. Do I have time to do it really quick before 11:16? The lunch bell is going to end in 15 minutes. This is a super easy one, and it looks really cool. So what I want you to do is make a square. I'm going to pencil in my square, but it's, okay, let me start over. I'm trying to go a little bit fast here. So I'm going to put in my square a little bit over to the side. So let's think about halfway. Let's do a little dash mark. About halfway on the paper is there. Okay, so we're actually going to cut on this line in just a second. But divide your paper lightly in half, just so you kind of know where that halfway mark is. That'd be a good way to start it. And then we're going to make a square that comes a little bit over that halfway mark. Just a little bit over. Okay. And when I go in with my ink, I'm going to use my straight edge to make it straight. Okay, so now let's put in our grid at least 3 lines this way, 3 lines this way, and I'm going to make this all look neater with the ink so you can see it. But what I want to do is bring an angle down and a diagonal that goes this way, and then an angle, see I did that, and then one that goes that way. Okay, and just like before, this one's going to angle according to the top line. It's going to go that way, and this one's going to go that way. And we'll end up cutting that. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. And now I'm going to do this in ink. I'm not going to draw anything on this halfway mark, but I'm just going to ink up my square for you. I love a triangle because it's just a little flip of the triangle. This. Okay. And put my checkerboard on the inside, 3 squares. Like that. Again, this isn't quite even. I think I'm just going to make it like that. Okay. And then this is going to angle I want you to angle this pretty dramatically going down this way. Stop it about right there. And why I'm pausing is I think I did this the wrong way. No, I did. It's supposed to go down. This one angles down to did that the wrong way. And then this one would angle this way. I might have to remake this one. I might have to remake this video because I don't think it's going to work. Then I'd go ahead and make my grid. I'm going to finish it off just for those of you that are tracking, but I'm probably going to stop this one and make it again since it's my growling stomach that's making me lose focus. So I don't even know if that made sense to you, but that's the kind of grid I'm going for. And then I would color, color. This one's going to be inked. And then this one will be inked. And this one will be inked. Yeah, I screwed this up. So the trick on this one is we're going to make it look like it's coming off the paper. And now it's just pure stubbornness that's making me finish this because I should really start it over. Especially with my messy lines down here. Okay. I wish those lines weren't there. And then I'm going to come down about off of this corner here and I'm going to put in a square shade with my pencil. I'm just going to make like a little square off set on this corner here. So this is going to come down and I still want to go over it maybe twice, push a little harder towards the center, to the side of it. Make it look like that shadow's coming down. Then what I do is I grab the scissors and I'm going to cut up on this line. Cut around my cube. Cut half of that paper off. Set it on another background with a little better light. It starts to look like it's coming off of the paper. Now, I messed up on this one, changed it halfway, so I'll probably make a better video of this one. But get you that idea of the potential of how cool this looks. But when you see those videos where they look like a spider's coming off of the paper, or different things are happening, this is kind of the way they're doing it, by real extreme lines coming down. So, not my best demo, but you can see the potential there. It looks pretty. So I am going to go eat some lunch in the next 5 minutes and have fun with playing with your